Chapter 44. Today was the day Sharmelle had one assignment at the top of her to-do list: dinner with the family and figuring out how not to answer all the questions they have about her big mystery case. She started with a phone call to her father to set things in motion. "Hello, world's best father." Hunter St. Simon loved that each of his children greeted him the same way, and he always had the same response. "Hello, my favorite child that I'm talking to on the phone right now." They agreed she would round up her brother and sister for dinner at the family home this evening. She was working alone in the office today since Jacqueline was working from home, so she went to work on a new case, following the money trail for a prominent businessman who was convinced his soon-to-be ex-wife had absconded with at least $100,000 from one of their investment funds. She was making quite a bit of headway in the case when she got a call on her personal cell. It was Lucian Hayes. "Char, we heard from Marcus Pierce." Sharmelle felt her heart beating faster. "When? What did he say?" Lucian explained what few details there were. They didn't exactly hear from Marcus Pierce. It was his daughter, Dominique. She sounded just as out of sorts as everyone else who knew anything about the case. But Marcus had told her, and her only, about his phone call with Etta. Dominique called to set up another call with her father and Etta, just the three of them. Lucian, however, had other plans. Pastor McCurdy was heading out of town tonight for a national pastors' conference in Washington, D.C., but Lucian wanted Sharmelle to be in the room to hear whatever Marcus Pierce had to say for himself. Lucian took note of the fact that his daughter requested the three of them, which didn't include him, the son, the brother. Sharmelle tried to explain to Lucian that her involvement in this case was professional more than personal. First Lady Hayes had hired her to do a job, find Marcus Pierce. She did, and had the invoice to prove the assignment was completed successfully. She really didn't want to continue in all the drama, but Lucian could be quite persuasive. She finally acquiesced and agreed to join them tomorrow at 11 o'clock. She did have to admit to herself that she was curious about Lucian's sister. Sister. It seemed odd just to hear that word in reference to a man who was an only child for 60-something years, or at least he thought he was. Sharmelle was again grateful for a dinner distraction. The entire family had not been together for dinner since her birthday, and her mother made sure they all remembered that. Sharmelle arrived first and found her mother and father in the kitchen. Her mother greeted her first. "Well, look who finally found her way to her dear old parents' humble abode." "It's great to see you too, Mom." Hunter St. Simon got up from the bar chair where he was sitting to give Sharmelle a bear hug, like he did when she was in elementary school. "Dad, you are smothering me, but I'm glad to see you too. Baby girl, it's been too long since we've laid eyes on you. I know all three of you kids are busy right now, but stop in to see us sometimes. I mean, if you want to remain in the will." Hunter winked and chuckled as Sharmelle rolled her eyes at his attempt to make a joke. Sharmelle wondered how long it would be before her mother quizzed her on the big case she was working on. The wait was short, very short. "So before Lyra and Cassius get here, you said you were wrapping up the case, so what was it? You can tell us now that it's over." "Well, it's not quite over. I mean, I thought it was, that it would be, but we've hit a snag, so there's just one more loose end to tie up." "Well, I certainly can't wait to hear all about the case that's kept you from frequently checking in on your elderly parents for months now." Sharmelle was convinced her mother missed her calling. She could have been a great soap opera actress. "Mom, first of all, you and Dad aren't elderly. You're not even 70 yet. And it has not been months since you've seen me." "Well, you're not the only detective in the family, as I've said before," Lorraine smirked. "I haven't forgotten that all this secrecy began when Etta Hayes surprised you with a visit to your office at church. I know she's tangled up in this somehow, too. I haven't forgotten that. You can just call me Nancy Drew Sr." Sharmelle sighed in the most dramatic way she could before having a good laugh with her father, who was watching the exchange between mother and daughter. Fortunately, Lyra and Cassius arrived just in time to save her from more of her mother's inquisition. Dinner was good for her soul. Her father was thinking more about retiring. Cassius seemed to be getting serious with his latest girlfriend, Ashley. He even mentioned bringing her to the next family gathering, which was a first for him. And work was going extremely well. He got the promotion he was up for, along with a substantial boost in his salary and a lucrative bonus last week for the most recent project that he led. Lyra did not mention her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Owen, and everyone knew not to ask if she didn't bring it up. But she was very excited that her news director approved her idea for an hour-long special about local people who've had something life-changing happen to them. As she described it, it's going to be people who suffered a catastrophic loss or a major defeat in their life or something surprising that rocked their world. It could have broken them, but instead they used it to propel them into something great. She already lined up a local couple whose 5-year-old son lost his right eye after he was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, an eye cancer. The father is an engineer, so now they've started a business to provide eye prosthetics specifically for children. Sharmelle listened to Lyra enthusiastically tell her family all about the special and thought about the family they all knew who was going through something life-changing as well. She went to bed that night thinking about that family and how she got dragged into continuing with the case that was officially closed, so closed that the physical file was moved to purple in her color-coded system. Jacqueline had not seen it yet. She sent a text. "Hey, Jay, I know it's late, but wanted to know if you could meet me at the office at 8:30. Apparently, the Marcus Pierce case isn't over after all. There have been a few developments you need to know about." Jacqueline responded immediately. "Yes, boss. Yes, I'll be there at 8:15 because I probably won't sleep a wink tonight. #curious, #nosy. Sharmelle replied with a crying laughing emoji.